Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Offseason Vidcast, and today we're just going to be having a little baseball talk, some Phillies updates, some news that we've been hearing on the internet and across Twitter and everything. It's been about a week since I last made a video. Last Monday, I made a Bryce Harper 2019 recap. If you haven't, go check that out in my feed, my YouTube feed on videos. Just go and check that out. So it's been about a week. Not a lot has happened. Not that we expected anything to happen. We just kind of expected it to go off in a slow start. And usually off-season really starts off slow. I think the whole entire off-season is slow. I don't think much gets done. Usually a lot of stuff is just sprinkled throughout the off-season. It's not one big thing. A lot of different things happen at a lot of different times. So we saw that last year. But, I've been hearing some things that this off-season is going to be much different than previous off seasons, and last off season is going to be different. A lot of people think that Garrett Cole is going to not wait it out until February or March, like Manny Machado obviously waited out until February, I believe, the 19th, and Harper waited it out to February 28th. So a lot of people did not expect Garrett Cole to wait it out that long. A lot of people expect he's going to wait it out. I expect him to sign after the new year. I expect a lot of these big guys like Anthony Rendon and Eric Cole and all these guys. I expect them to sign after the new year. I don't really expect any signings in between. I don't know how anyone can expect any signings around this time of year. Especially Christmas, you got Thanksgiving, a lot of stuff's going on. Usually after the New Year is when business starts getting, it starts getting serious. Obviously in December you kind of see some moves. Obviously. Last off season, the Phillies traded for Segura, and they signed McCutchen in December. So a little bit of stuff got done, but not a lot. Usually, obviously, the Realmuto trade happened in February. The Harper signing happened in February, but it was made official in March 2nd. So this offseason, I do not see I don't think it's going to be as bad. I think this offseason is not nearly as important as last offseason. We just need some pitching. Last offseason, we needed a lot more than pitching. We didn't really go out and get any pitching last offseason. Last offseason, we didn't have any options last offseason. It was either Bryce Harper or Manny Machado. It was so stressful last offseason with the whole thing. But this year, I think we're definitely going to get a pitcher. Really good pitcher. I don't think it's going to be like Garrett Cole. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be that. We're going to get some good pitchers in our rotation, like a Zach Wheeler's of the world type of guys. We're not just going to get Zach Wheeler. People are content with just getting him. I want multiple new pitchers. That's what I'll be happy with. Like a Garrett Cole, Zach Wheeler, bringing maybe a Cole Hamels reunion, something like that. So let's just cover the news, our weekly update. This is going to be something we're going to do weekly update, because I need to have content on this channel because I need to grow it. So right now, on my Instagram, go give it a follow. Go give my Bryce Harper fan page a follow. I do daily posts. I'm committed to it. I've done it. The Phillies Hot Stove. I've done it for a while. I've done daily posts for about a month. I've done it for, it feels like a while. I didn't really grow the channel that much when I first started it, but I'm learning it now, and now I know how to grow it. If you post daily, use hashtags, and you get follows and likes. And then more people are going to find out about this channel. And this channel means so much to me. I think this YouTube means so much to me, because this is my passion. This is what I want to do. So a weekly update. Let's go through and look at obviously some awards came out. Obviously JT Realmuto won the Gold Glove last week. But let's take a look at some other Phillies players that have. I talked a little bit about it last week. The Phillies have declined 2020 options for Pat Neshek, Jared Hughes, Jason Vargas. They've now elected free agency. These guys aren't a loss. I kind of talked about that earlier. Kind of disappointments. The Phillies have outrighted Jared Eichhoff, Blake Parker, Mike Moore, Phil Gosselin, Adbury Ramos. So they've now elected free agency. Eichhoff was a major disappointment. Parker was just okay. Morin was okay. Gosselin obviously grew up around the Philly area. I didn't mind him. I thought he was a decent bench bat. Ramos, these guys are just clearing the bullpen. Like they're cleaning house in the bullpen. I had nothing wrong with it. So obviously Cole Hamels, I don't know if you heard about this, eyeing a reunion with Philly. He said, "I love the opportunity to come back. It's probably more on their end, though." So that couldn't get any more Cole Hamels. That statement. Anyway, congratulations to JT Muto on winning the National League Silver Slugger Award for the catcher position. That's a huge accomplishment. Obviously, he won the Gold Glove. He's by far the best catcher in baseball. Stop saying Yasmani Grandal is the best catcher. I am sick of hearing that. Stop saying it. I am done with that. The Yasmani, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. JT Muto is the best catcher in baseball. He's the best defender. Now, on the hitting side, Yasmani Grandal does have a little bit more home runs, and he walks it a lot more than JT does. But JT, obviously, no one wants to talk about batting average anymore. But JT has a higher batting average. I'd say offensively, they're pretty close. They're nowhere close defensively. Therefore, I will give JT the nod for the best catcher in baseball. So a lot of these people are making this argument. Our Nationals fans, I'm not going to call anybody out, but they're just I guess they're just jealous. They just won the World Series. I don't know, not sure what they're so jealous about. But anyway, also, just 3 days ago, it marked the 2-year anniversary of Roy Halladay passing away. Obviously, he tragically passed away in a plane crash off the Gulf of Mexico. Halladay was only 40 years old. He would have been a great pitching coach. That's a shame, and he was kind of getting a little, he was trying to be cool with his plane and ended up costing him his life. It's a shame. The Phillies have hired Juan Castro as the new infield coach to replace Bobby Dickerson, who left to go to San Diego to serve as the bench coach with Chase Tingler. So we have our new infield coach, Juan Castro. I know nothing about this guy. I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. You don't really usually hear much about this. Another news: the Phillies are set to interview Nationals assistant hitting coach Joe Dillon. Dillon, 44 years old, has served as the Nats assistant hitting coach for the past 2 seasons. And he's just part of a coaching staff that won the World Series just 2 weeks ago. Could we see him reunite with Bryce Harper? Possibly. So he's going to get an interview. And this is big news. There is one big thing I want to talk about here. So the 3 things is Josh Donaldson, Odubel Herrera, and Maikel Franco. So first we're going to start with Josh Donaldson. According to Mark Feinstein, the Phillies have reportedly shown interest in former Braves third baseman Josh Donaldson. Donaldson had 900 OPS with 37 home runs and 94 RBIs this past season. Go and get him. He's better. I think this would be a better option for Anthony Rendon. Because if you're going to sign Anthony Rendon, you're going to have to sign him to a 7-year deal, possibly move him to second or you put him at first or whatever. This solves this problem. You could sign Josh Donaldson to a 2 to 3 year deal. Maybe you can even give him a high AV and just give him a 1-year deal just for a bridge for Alec Bohm. This is great. You're bringing in a guy to a hitter's ballpark who has had 37 home runs and 900 OPS in a 94 RBI season. The last offseason, I said, no, I do not want Josh Donaldson. He's washed up and he's injured, and I don't want him. But he proved himself. He proved that he is not washed up. He could still produce at a pretty high level, 37 home runs and 94 RBIs with a 900 OPS. And I like this. This is not a guy you have to sign long-term. I commit to like an Anthony Rendon or something. We're not getting Anthony Rendon. Stop with that. But this is a guy I would really like to see happen. This would be a move that I'd be very pleased with. You bring, as I said, hitter's ballpark, 37 home runs. Just sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal, maybe in a 3-year deal. And in the meantime, you can move Alec Bohm to second base. Maybe you trade Hernandez. I don't know. But maybe you move him to first. I don't know. And maybe trade Hoskins if that whole thing doesn't work out. So Donaldson definitely has a shot. I think I'd like to see him more than Anthony Rendon. Mike Moustakas obviously is another option. He put up some pretty impressive numbers too, like 35 home runs. I kind of talked about him earlier. He's the kind of guy you can sign on a 1-year deal, and he's a left-handed power bat in all ballpark. So my opinion and my prediction is that the Phillies will sign either Josh Donaldson or Mike Moustakas, and I really would like to see that happen. One's a righty bat and one's a lefty bat. Obviously, Donaldson's the righty and Moustakas is the lefty. So I really would like to see that happen. A lot of power, more productive than Maikel Franco, and it's a bridge for Alec Bohm. Okay. Before we get to that, I'm going to talk about a report that happened very, very recently, yesterday. According to a report from NBC Sports Philadelphia, the Detroit Tigers are reportedly interested in the Phillies' third baseman, Maikel Franco. In my opinion, I think it'd be a smart choice to move on from Franco. I think he's had multiple chances to prove himself, and he was touted as a very high prospect in our organization for a very long time, and he just didn't pan out. Okay, nothing personal. He just didn't pan out, and I think the potential was always there for Maikel Franco, but he just couldn't pull it together. I don't know what. You could tell it was there. You could tell he had something going for him. I don't know what it is. A lot of his game's mental, they say, and I definitely think that is true. So I don't know. I don't know. He just couldn't seem to have it click. I mean, he showed some signs in 15 when he first came up. Obviously, broke his wrist. And he came back the next year in 16. We had such high expectations. If you remember in the spring training of 2016, I remember he led the spring training in home runs. He was a beast. Like, we thought, this guy, we got rolling in the 2016 season. This guy's going to be our third baseman for the next 10, 15 years. Maybe not that long. Maybe the next 10 years. We're set. And now we're here 3 years later, and 3.5 years later, and he's a disappointment. So, yeah. So the Detroit Tigers are interested in him. He had a down 2019 campaign. He only hit .234 with a .297 on base percentage, which is absolutely terrible. And there were rumors last offseason that the Phillies would move on from Franco, like deal him to, remember the Padres rumors. I forget what other teams were in it, but now it is almost a given that they're going to trade him. I mean, they're going to non-tender him or trade him to another team. Just trade him for scrap. I mean, you can't really get much for him, I don't think. He's just not really a guy you could really get a lot for. He does have some power. Obviously, 17 home runs, 20. I believe he had 22 last year, 23 the year before, 25. So he hits around 20 or 25 home runs a year. Obviously, he had missed some time in AAA and everything, but he's a head case. So disappointment. I mean, he made some nice plays at third base, but he's not a long-term answer. I'd much rather have a guy like that in there than like a Josh Donaldson or Mike Moustakas that can produce at a high level for only like a year or two, who could pimp 35 home runs in a little tiny ballpark. Think about this. They're doing this in places like Milwaukee and Atlanta. If they come to All Park and stay healthy, they could easily pimp 40 home runs. And when's the last time we've even seen a 40 home run season? It's been a long time. So that's how I feel about the Maikel Franco situation. He is definitely not going to be on the opening day roster in 2020. Discussion. Should the Phillies release Odubel Herrera? I say yes. Obviously, he's owed a good amount of money, I think $12 million 1 year, and I think he's owed around. I think he has 3 years left on his deal, I believe. I think he has two. I think he has two. He is owed, a decent amount of money. You've seen other teams release other players who were owed a lot of money. Last offseason, you saw the Blue Jays release Troy Tulowitzki, and he was owed a good amount of money. And obviously, the Yankees picked him up for very, very cheap for the league minimum, and the Blue Jays were stuck paying all that money. So, everyone wants to bring up, like, oh, you can't release him. He's worth too much money. You can't do it. That's a bunch of malarkey. It's been done before, so I don't want to hear that. It's been done before. So, he is owed $10 million, and he's also owed $2 million. So, he's owed around $12 million. He's owed about $12 million, which isn't it's a good amount of money. It's not cheap, I wouldn't say, but it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable. I don't know. I don't know. I definitely think that he will not be in the team next year. We're definitely going to trade him or do something with him. I definitely don't think he'll be in the team next year. This website is actually not very accurate. It says it does not give me the 2020 salary, which is what I really want to see. But after 2020, he's owed $12.5 million. So I don't know for some stupid reason they will not show me the 2020 salary. So I assume it's around $20 million maybe, which still is not bad. It's still not bad at all. we could just pay it off. I mean, we could just pay it off over time. I'd rather not have a guy like this on my team. I really wouldn't. And someone else is going to pick him up, and which why I don't think a trade is very possible, in my opinion, because no one wants that. No one wants him. I know I've been talking and saying that's not a lot of money. Well, I mean, for a guy like that, it kind of is. So that's why I just think it'd just be better just to release him. Just bite the bullet. I mean, I don't want this guy on my team. There's no need for him. We have McCutchen coming back, and he's not productive. Like, he hit like 227 with 1 home run. He didn't even do anything this past year. He was so bad. He was so bad. He wasn't even good. He was hurt for a little bit, and then when he finally got back, then he beat up his girlfriend. So, and I definitely don't want a guy on my team who abused a woman. I don't want a woman abuser on my team. Call me crazy. I don't want it. I don't think anybody does. I mean, do you really want a guy on your team who abused a woman? I don't. I can tell you that. So I definitely think it's time to move on from him. And all those people out there keep saying, don't release him. He's owed too much money. Well, these kind of things have been done before, okay? Like, look at the facts. Go back and look at other examples. People always ignore those things. They always think that they're the smartest. So it's time to move on from O'Hara. He had his chance, and he blew it. I can't tell you how many people I thought were going to be cornerstones in our organization 3 years ago, or not anymore. Michael Franco, Odubel Herrera. I could go on and on and on. I even thought that possibly even Tommy Joseph can even, if you guys remember him, Tommy Joseph. I even thought that maybe he could be still with this team because he showed some sign in like the first 2 years of his career, had like 20 home runs. He was a decent player, yeah, major disappointments. Remember Darren Ruff? We go back to 2013. Darren Ruff. Remember Darren Ruff? Cameron Rupp. Like these guys. Well, I didn't really think Cameron Rupp was going to do anything. But Darren Ruff, when he first came up, like he was supposed to replace Ryan Howard. And that's what scares me about Hoskins, dude. Like that's what scares me about Hoskins because I'm afraid Hoskins is going to be like that. Like he's going to like Dominic Brown. Dominic Brown's another great example. This Philadelphia Phillies are not good at player development. And I'm hoping that will change. If you go look around at the Atlanta Braves, what they've been able to do, develop players like Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies, Freddie Freeman. They've been able to develop some really, really good players. They know how to sign the right players like they did with Donaldson last year, and they did with Markakis maybe 5 years ago. They know how to sign the right players, and they really do a good job. And even Mike Rizzo at the Washington Nationals, he does a nice job too. I mean, you brought in those two catchers, Yan Gomes and Kurt Suzuki. They carried you through the season. Obviously he signed Patrick Corbin to that massive deal because he knew there was a possibility that Steven Strasburg would opt out of that contract. I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of these GMs, you have to have good judgment. And guys like Mike Rizzo and guys like that have good judgment. And under Ruben Amaro Jr. and under Matt Klentak, judgment has not been their stronghold. It's no secret. They are not the best at signing the right players. I mean, look at the kind of guys who got to sign. They either get hurt, like David Robertson. They get hurt and everything. I'm hoping that this will change. Obviously, Joe Girardi is not our player developer, but I'm hoping that this will change, though. Managers has a little impact on it, and I'm hoping that he will change things. He will. Discipline, holding players accountable, not letting them get away with God knows what, holding them accountable. That's what I want to see. I want to see accountability on this team, and it's not something we've seen for a while. Even when Pete McCann was, I think he was definitely accountable. You look back before that, Ryan Sandberg, he didn't do anything. Charlie Manuel was, but I'm going to say that Pete McCann, from what I remember, I remember he benched Herrera a couple times. So, he held players accountable. That's one of the things I did like about him, but he was just too boring of a guy. So, that's the thing about that. Taking a look at the free agent predictions, obviously a lot of people have been talking about free agency. Don't get your hopes up, guys. I'm talking about players signing soon. They're not going to sign soon. Winter meetings at least a winter meetings, and that's not for another month. So don't get your hopes up. We got a long way to go. This is now our first week. We got a long way to go here, and I understand people are surprised no one signed yet. Well, you know what? Why would you expect? No one ever signs in the first week, at least the first 2 or 3 weeks. So November is a month where Teams are kind of just looking at players, thinking what they're going to do. Winter meetings, they start to get a little serious. They start communicating with the players. That's what the winter meetings for. In January, they start getting a little bit. That's the serious month. You think about it, November. You meet with the players. Obviously, it's through the holiday season. That could be a little distracting. That definitely has an impact. And in January, after the holidays, no distractions. Business. And obviously, in February, spring training starts. And you saw last year, a lot of players didn't get into camp. This time of schedule, Manny Machado signed on February 19th. He didn't get into camp on time. Bryce Harper sure didn't get into camp on time. He got in March 2nd. That was his press conference. I think he got on like March 4th or something like that, because his press conference is on a Saturday. So March 4th was that next Monday. He got on that March 4th. So I think that's when he took his first batting practice. So, these guys like missed camp. So nothing would surprise me. If you told me right now that Scott Boras would hold out and have Anthony Rendon sign around the same time Harper did, I honestly wouldn't surprise. It would not surprise me. And then I just saw an article today that said Anthony Rendon should and deserves Bryce Harper money. Now, looking at it from a statistic standpoint, Anthony Rendon had a great season and it is worth way over $25 million. But you're crazy that you think this guy is going to get 13 years, $330 million, and he's going to top that? No way. Does Anthony Rendon produce the amount of revenue that Bryce Harper does? I don't think so. And is Anthony Rendon 27 years old? He's about to turn 30. He's going to go into his 30s. When teams see 30, they start to get a little nervous because around 34, 35 is when players start going down. They start going down. So Anthony Rendon is not going to get Bryce Harper money. He's not. And I don't think – that's stupid. That's so stupid. Another thing I want to talk about. I'm just kind of like saying stuff. San Diego. I saw an article. I've been looking around. First of all, MLB Network MLB at bat is so biased against the Phillies. Really. Not one free agent they predicted to go to the Phillies. You saw it all last offseason. Harper going to the Cubs. Harper going to L.A. He's going back to Washington. You never heard once he was going to the Phillies. Some few people like Bob Nightingale and a few others. But you really rarely ever heard it from anybody. And look what ended up happening. So don't buy into this, guys. People get all hung up on the reports and, oh, my gosh, so-and-so's interested in this so-and-so. It looks like they're going to go here. The betting odds, the Las Vegas odds saying this person's going to go there. Those odds do mean something, but they're overblown. They really are. They're so overblown. Last offseason, after the Christmas time, you saw Harper going to the Dodgers was the most likely, according to the odds, which I didn't believe, was the most likely option that was going to happen. And it didn't, because we have him. So don't buy into all those odds. I don't believe it until I see it. I am not believing any reports. I believe a few reports about the Josh Donaldsons and stuff like that, but predictions I don't believe in. I do not look at predictions, but I do look at reports. There's a difference. Predictions and reports are two different things. If you hear a report, then they're just reporting things about teams being interested. When you hear predictions, that's totally different because they can't predict anything, but a report is something that they heard. So you don't want to get hung up on a report. But reports are a lot more important than predictions because the predictions are just people's opinion, which is most of the time wrong. So anyway, getting back to the San Diego thing, I heard a report that Steven Strasburg and Anthony Rendon possibly both can go to San Diego. That is ridiculous. Just because the Padres signed Manny Machado to a 10-year, $300 million contract does not mean they can afford. Everyone now thinks that they can afford anybody. They're not the New York Yankees. They're not the. I don't understand it. They're not going to be able to afford both. Maybe one. They're not going to get Rendon. Why do they need Rendon? They have Tatis and they have Machado. Why do they need Rendon? There's no need for Anthony Rendon. There's no need for him. There's no need. Why screw up Tatis and put him at second? I don't get it. I don't get it. There's no way. Maybe Strasburg because he's from San Diego, but stop with the San Diego stuff. It's really getting old. So they brought in Eric Hosmer 2 years ago on an 8-year, $144 deal. They totally overpaid for him. And so what? They signed Manny Machado last year to a 10-year, $300 million contract. I laughed at the Padres when I heard they were in on both of those guys, and they proved me wrong. So Maybe it happens again. I'm not going to say that, but stop. They're not getting both of those guys. Okay, that is ridiculous. So I just wanted to debunk that. I'm trying to think of anything else to talk about. Obviously, I've heard some reports that Zach Wheeler is most likely to go to the Yankees. You heard everything about the Yankees. Everyone said that Patrick Corbin was going to go to the Yankees, and he ended up going to Washington. So that's what I'm saying. You can't buy any of these reports. Predictions. Excuse me. These predictions, because most of these predictions are just stupid. I mean, they really are. Just these nerds who sit on their computers, and they have to put something out on the internet. They have to do it. I mean, that's just their job. So they have to think of something to say. So most of the time, they're just talking out of their, what. I mean, they're just making stupid predictions. They probably don't even believe in themselves. So don't get all hung up on this stuff. I mean, I look at the reports, but I don't get all hung up on the reports and everything. I just let the offseason play out. That's not what I did last year. I got hung up on the reports, and it really, really cost me because, I was really unhappy last winter because I was so focused. I mean, it literally affected my schoolwork. I was so, it's all I thought about. Like Bryce Harper, Phillies uniform. Like, I was so nervous. And you know what, guys? I feel confident in this organization. There's a lot of good pitchers out there that we're able to get. And you know what, guys? Bryce Harper's a Philly. We don't have to worry about him going anywhere. He's ours for the next 12 years. So let's have that all sink into us right now, okay? Bryce Harper's ours. He's ours for the next 12 years, and he's a Philly for life. So let's have that sink in right now, okay? So we don't have to worry about anything. That just going back through this process now, since it's free agency again, it just makes me so thankful that Bryce Harper's a Philadelphia Philly. It really makes me so happy. So we're gonna get somebody. There's too many pitchers out there on the market that we can't miss out. I mean, it's almost impossible that we're not going to get one of those guys. Cole Hamels, Garrett Cole, Madison Bumgarner, Zach Wheeler. Yeah, even in the lower guys like Roark, and even Andrew Murillo. So, I mean, even on the trade market, maybe possibly a Corey Kluber. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there we can get. I mean, there's a lot of guys. So I'm not worried. I have faith in this organization. So there's your weekly update, guys. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If anything happens, a trade or huge news that breaks, I will make a video. But until then, see you next week. I'm sorry. This is not anything to talk about. I'll be here all day just talking about the same thing. I mean, like reports and all that stuff. I don't think anyone wants to hear that. And everyone knows that this is a hard time of year to grow a baseball account. It's November. No one wants to hear about baseball in November or December. But I'm paying my dues because in late March, I start doing daily videos again, recapping every single game. So, yeah. So thank you all. I don't want to make this video too long. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please smash the like on this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn that notification bell. Please go check out the social media. Bryce Harper fan page, Phillies Hot Stove, Instagram. Obviously, the Harper fan page is on Instagram. Harper Fanatics. Check it out. Link in the description below. Phillies Hot Stove Vidcast. Twitter. Go check out if you're an Eagles fan, go check out the Eagles Hot Stove Vidcast. Link in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please smash the like on this video. Please share your friends with these videos. I am Luke. And I will talk to you all later, probably next week. Crew's over now, just to let you all know. This fall season's over. This year is flying by. It's November 11th tomorrow, guys. This year is flying by. I've been in school for 2 months now. It doesn't even feel that long. It feels like a couple weeks. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'm Luke, and I will talk to you all later. Have a great night. Have a good week.